after his electric performance at Mackey to open the season, which by the way, there's a lot of like basketball isms out there. You got Hoodie Mello, you got Zion Williamson when he's in a city with IG baddies. There's just certain basketball players that always step up in the moment. We might have a new segment of this that is opening night Fletcher Lawyer. There's some stat that came up on the screen. I believe it's even higher now. Fletch is like averaging like 17 or like maybe even 20 points a game now,
Oh
shooting like
yeah.
50% from three in opening night games in Mackey.
I think it was he scored 29 in this one, 21 last year, 17 the year before in his past three season openers.
Yeah, he scored 30. I don't want to sum I got short. He had 30
It was
ball.
30? I don't know
30,
where I got 29. When
30,
they
30.
showed the graphic, he was at 29.
Yeah, 30,
That's
30 ball, 7 for 10 from three. Unreal performance in their first game of the year against Evansville. After the game, at the post-game press conference, I'm not sure who asked the question because they were just showing Matt Painter at the press conference. So sorry if I'm not giving credit to the reporter who asked this. But they basically asked, there's some people in this fan base that have wanted to replace Fletcher Lawyer. And Matt Painter quickly like cut him off and was like, you know what? The people that want to replace him aren't very smart. So maybe let's not hang out with them. Which got a good little chuckle from everybody. And then Matt Painter just keeping it light during the Evansville post game. Now, elephant in the room. I've been in the weeds this week on Twitter over Fletcher Lawyer, just getting accused of saying things about him that, I don't necessarily agree with. I think I had Fletcher in my Big Ten player rankings at like 25th. I also made some comments about taking John Mobley Jr. over him, which didn't really go over well with anybody, with a good amount of people in the Twitter sphere. But this was kind of surrounded by I want to talk about it from a my standpoint and like the college basketball standpoint, and then like a Purdue standpoint in general, because I'm not here to put the whole fan base in one bucket, but I do think like last year there was a small contingent of people who were like, you know, we could get a little bit more from somebody like athletically wise probably if we brought Fletcher off the bench, which I mean like I don't think Fletcher Loyer will ever come off the bench in his Purdue career ever. I don't think that he should. He's one of
hmm
the best shooters in the country, the best shooter in the country. My apologies. So like you need that guy on the floor. Him and Braden work so well together. It's the perfect pairing. You got one of the greatest point guards in college basketball history and one of the best shooters that's ever came from Purdue. It works out extremely well. But back to Matt Painter's quote. He says that the people that want to
Hold
replace
on,
him. Oh, well, go ahead.
can I interject for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just you saying, my apologies, he is the best player in the country. It just made me think, I wish Greg was here right now. He's currently in his holdout from doing videos with us. But I just envision him going, is he the best shooter in the country, Cart?
No, because he would no. Yesterday he checked me because I was like I was playing it safe because I wanted to keep myself in a spot where I could pivot if I needed to. I was like, yeah, he's one of the best shooters in the country. Greg goes, he's the best shooter in the country, and I was like, yeah, you're right, he's the best shooter in the country.
I'm actually surprised Greg said that. I would have thought, I know Greg has been, he has stuck his neck out for Purdue in the past, but I thought it was
Yeah,
more of a
but we
Braden
started we
thing.
started like going through it though, Riley. When you think about it, like last year, Kobe Bryant was probably the best shooter in the country.
hmm
This year, like Isaiah Evans is a good shooter,
Evans
but
was the
like
first name that came to my
But
mind.
Fletcher's more consistent than Isaiah.
Mhm.
Isaiah's more
That's
like
fair.
heat check kind of. So like when you look across the country, like yeah, Fletch is the best shooter in the country. And that's what makes him, one of the better players in the country. So but just speaking on like, you know,
What Painter's saying.
what Painter said, the people that want to replace him aren't very smart, so let's maybe not hang out with them. What do you take from that?
I'm glad he made it light. I'm glad he got a little joke off out of it. And personally, I always think it's funny when people give you relationship advice unsolicited. Not that it's bad advice. Cut off those folks who are the naysayers in the situation. But I think Paint obviously isn't taking it too seriously because I've witnessed this happen in fan bases across the country when you have those 4-year guys. If you stick around a program for your entire career, especially in this era, they might love you, but that doesn't mean they're not going to nitpick your role. I saw Carolina fans suggesting RJ Davis should come off the bench last season. Like, what are we doing? Even the guys who, guys in Carolina's case, it was a guy who was a first team All American, consensus top three player in the sport his first senior year before the COVID year. And in Fletcher's case, it's like, yeah, you said it right now. We're struggling to think of a player in the country. And honestly, when I asked you, is there a better shooter? Isaiah Evans was the first name that came into my mind, just because I think he has maybe more of like the highlight reel shots with the hand in the face, off balance stuff. Fletch can do that too, though. Like, and he is, to your point, way more consistent when you've done it for as long as he had, as 40+%. You can just check that off the list. You're getting that year in, year out from him. Yeah, that's like that speaks to something. That is something that any coach in the country would take. So it's like when you're looking at one of the best shooters in school history, like why are we doing this in year four? I didn't even realize that there was a segment of Purdue fans that were questioning his role or saying to put some more athleticism out there, bring him off the bench. Like, it's not going to happen. Don't you know who your coach is? Don't you know that he still has some like old school tendencies where he's going to ride with his guy? Don't you think he's going to stick by the one who was with him in the national championship 2 years ago and knows how to get back there? So yeah, I'm glad Paint made light of it, but I think for me it's more so like it brings back PTSD of Carolina fans suggesting the same dumb stuff for RJ Davis. And my call is just love your 4 year guys better.
Mhm.
That's all. Love what you have.
Yeah.
In this era of the shiny new toy portal transactional relationships throughout the college sport, love what you have. Love when the guys stick around.
Yeah.
We don't.
And for me too, it's there's two sides to it here. Like, because the contention kind of came up when I was like, yeah, I like John Mobley Jr. more than Fletch, given the fact that I think John Mobley Jr. can do a little bit more than Fletch outside of shooting. Here's the difference, and here's how it's separated though. There is, and I say this truthfully, there's not a player in the country that Matt Painter would trade for Fletcher Lawyer.
Mhm.
Not one, not one. And I'm not just saying that he would not trade Fletcher Lawyer for anybody because that's his guy. That's his guy. He's one of the best coaches in the sport, and like you said, he rides for his guys.
Mhm.
I'm the fan of a team in the same sense. Dog, Tom Izzo's riding with Carson Cooper over 90 other centers in the country that he can pick. That's what he does. And that's not a good example because obviously Fletcher Lawyer is better than Carson Cooper. But to my point is I can say whatever I want. I can rank Fletcher wherever I want. I know for a fact that Matt Painter would not trade that guy for anybody in the country.
Yep.
And that's the right decision too, by the way, because it's perfect what he does. Perfect. Like that it adds it's what he has been a massive part as of what has helped Purdue win so many games over this year. So, you know what? I kind of want people to hang out with me. Um I don't think I'm that smart either. So like good call by Paint, but I will say this, I'm a great hang. I am a great hang. I can say whatever I want about who I rank ahead of Fletcher Lawyer, which like I said, I think because I had to go back and look at like my Big Ten because we had like 5 or 6 people, I think, kind of rank it, and then we took the aggregate of it. Um, but I have Fletch at 25. That's probably even going to end up being too low, and I'll take that on the chin. But uh, yeah,
Well, your rationale is fine. I am Team Card. People don't need to cut you out of their lives. They
I'm
don't
not
need
even
to.
trying to like do the team versus team here for real, to be honest with you. Like I'm fine with it. I'll stand on it, and people can say what they want about it. That's when you put out rankings like this, people should be able to have opinions and comments on it, and that's kind of the way it goes. But in the world of Matt Painter, yes, he's not listening to those people. He's not listening to me. But like I said, I think I'd be a good hang paint. I think I'd be a good hang. I'm good on the aux. I got good jokes. I can lighten the mood. I can cook. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a good hang. But yeah, it's outside of like myself because I feel like I'm putting myself at the center of the thing here. But it's because like I got tagged in this video a good amount of times. But the grand thing, the big picture thing with this is that like this is part of the Purdue culture. Like this is what it is. It is only things that matter are this team and the things that happen in the confines of West Lafayette. That's all that matters. None of the outside noise matters. None of anybody saying they want to take this player over this player or where they rank this player. Not a player on this team would trade each other for anybody. Not a player on this team would leave this team for anybody. That's the culture thing for Purdue, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's I guess you just got to lean into it. You can't change who you are. Just embrace it, but just don't expect everybody else to conform to it. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. Last thing I'll say, only thing that really ate at me in this situation, no pun intended, because I'm big. I called one good player better than the other player, so that makes the other player bad.
That's
That,
insane.
that's crazy to me.
Especially
I can't rock with that.
when you said one is just more dynamic, more versatile. That does not equate to the other player is a bum.
Yeah.
Like I think, and I will even say this, going back to the Final Four in 2024 when Fletch disappeared, going back to the discussions we've had when Fletch quote unquote bulked up, I was kind of like poking fun at all of that. And both times, like I can think of those instances where you and Greg were both like, "No, like Riley, he's really good. I don't think you like." Not to sound condescending, but you don't really get it because you're not a Big Ten guy. Not a Big Ten. I'm not a Big Ten guy by like. I'm more of a big. I'm a learned Big Ten guy. I was
I
not
feel like
born and raised in the Big
you're
Ten.
kind of with the gang now though. You're Big Ten
Yeah.
certified.
Yeah. But I had to work my way up.
Yeah.
2 years ago, it was like, this is new territory for me. I came on Sleepers to provide you ACC content and Bible verses. And now I'm being asked to learn about the league that y'all have known since you were in diapers. But so we've made some strides there. And I think I have a better understanding of Purdue culture. But yeah, so you have always been pro Fletch. And there was even a time where you were pro the entire Lawyer family. So
Man,
somehow
and
4 years of
Foster was so nice in high school. I don't think you get it, Riley. Like Foster was a goddamn Don Dada in the high school. Like, it was special. I watched this dude score 50 against it was in the state championship game. Anyway, like the Lawyer family's about buckets. They're always going to be about buckets and always about shooting. And last thing here, when you're having conversations about basketball players and you point out that they are really, really good at one thing and maybe not so good at the other things, every team needs a guy that does things really, really good.
Mhm.
If you are the best rebounder in the country and you don't do anything else, you have so much value to you. You have so much value to you in what you do for your team. The word specialist, the word like only this, I think it's taken negatively, but you don't necessarily have to take that negatively, especially when it comes to shooting. Like if I'm the best three-point shooter in the country, I don't really care. I had 30. I had 30 and zero rebounds and one assist, but I had 30. So like
Right.
what do we don't really even care here. But shout out to Matt Painter for this question. Also, I will say this. Don't like that we're getting fan base questions in the first post-game press conference of the year. I'm glad this was associated to people like me who say stuff about Fletch, but yeah, really good quote from Painter. Gonna be a really good season for Purdue. That's what needs. Yeah, what's the coach speak word, Riley? Keep the main thing the main thing.
Mm.
I hate that I ended the
The
episode.
standard is the standard. I hate
All
both of those.
right, I hate it too. We're out of here.